You can always make more money, but you can't make more time. In today's video, we're going to be talking about something called time autonomy and why that's so important and how you can build a life for yourself and design a life that gives you both time autonomy and sustainable wealth. If you're new here, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Sarah Edens. I'm a financial consultant and educator, and I'm so happy you joined me today. And hello to all of my current subscribers. And if you're new, please do consider subscribing as well and sharing this video with a friend who you think might enjoy it and who's interested in building their financial freedom as well. So let's talk about this whole concept of why time freedom is so critical. So, first of all, time autonomy boosts life and job satisfaction. So, having control over your schedule, which we just refer to as time autonomy, leads to significantly higher quality of life and also to job satisfaction when they've done studies on this. In fact, how you choose to spend your time actually matters more than how many hours you work, just having that extra control. Evidence to really show this is a survey in Harvard Business Review that found that people who had greater control of their time, that is, who had more flexibility in their work schedules, had the highest job satisfaction and overall satisfaction in their lives. And it also found that the hours worked aren't tightly linked to happiness. It really comes down to having autonomy over your schedule, being able to work on what you want to work on in the way that you want to work. And it doesn't mean you're working fewer hours. They actually found that a lot of survey participants were working just as many hours as they'd been working before, but the ones that reported having more time autonomy just had a better quality of life, even if they were working lots and lots of hours, because they were able to do it in a way that suited them and their schedules the best. If you're wanting to get both of these for yourself, both the time autonomy and be able to build good wealth and have a good job, you can look at negotiating flexible hours or remote work options. You can design a work week around core hours plus flexible blocks. And that especially comes in handy if you're a busy entrepreneur like myself. I definitely do time blocking just because that way I make sure that I accomplish what I need to accomplish, because the pro of being an entrepreneur and running your own business is that you definitely have time autonomy. The con is that you have to be very good at time management and in order to run a successful business. So it's a lot about just building good discipline and good habits. And then you can also look at offloading rigid, low impact or low yield commitments to reclaim your discretionary time and also focus on high impact tasks and family time without sacrificing income. So it really just is kind of finding what suits you the best. The second point here is that time affluence enhances well-being and personal growth. And I'll be using these terms time autonomy and time affluence basically interchangeably, just in terms of having control over your schedule and having enough free time to do the things you want to do. Feeling that you have enough time, which we said is termed time affluence, is directly tied to greater happiness, stronger relationships, and more fulfillment in general. Researchers Tim Kasser and Ken Sheldon coined this term time affluence in 2009 in a study that they did, and they found that individuals with more perceived discretionary time report greater enjoyment, autonomy, competence, and stronger personal relationships and more personal development. So we looked at time autonomy in terms of having control over your time. We looked at time affluence in terms of not just having control, but also having enough free time, not feeling time poor all the time. And so some ideas about how to get both of these are to automate or outsource chores such as cleaning service, meal prep, task batching, things like this. You can set weekly no phone or deep work blocks. And you can also prioritize tasks that align the most with your values, keeping in mind the 80-20 rule that you get 80% of the value from what you work on out of 20% of what you're actually doing. So keep that in mind as well in terms of really focusing on the most important, highest yield ways that you can spend your time so you free up extra time for yourself and you're not feeling constantly time poor and like you're constantly running behind, and never have just downtime for yourself. The third thing is that valuing your time over money lowers stress, and increases return. So this is really interesting. There's a lot of times that you'll hear people say, oh, time is money. But there's some interesting research that actually shows that thinking about it that way is actually kind of counterproductive. When we think of time as money, there's a tendency to overwork and underinvest in things like meaningful relationships, leading to stress and unbalanced lives. Reframing time as our most valuable asset, as opposed to, say, time as money, fosters wiser and more sustainable lifestyle choices over time. Studies on economic time valuation show that priming people to treat time like money makes them prioritize income over social or leisure time. And like we said, it's really a balance. Researchers at Harvard Business School found that, quote, the value that people place on time does not always have positive consequences. Thinking about the economic value of time is associated with self-focus and can encourage activities that undermine well-being. People who think about how much money their time is worth spend significantly less time socializing with friends and family, and significantly more time socializing with colleagues, probably in networking settings. So if you're looking to be able to kind of balance all this out, you can look at creating a time budget for yourself the same way you would a money budget, since you're looking at time as a valuable asset. And look at allocating hours weekly for leisure, family time, health, and then, of course, your work. But just making sure that you have that balance and being as careful about how you would budget your time as how you budget your money. You can use things like time price tags if that helps you think about it this way. Think if you'd rather spend an extra $10 than spend an extra 30 minutes cooking, go for it. Your time is worth something. So really think that through. And when you're looking at saving yourself time so you can free yourself up for leisure time, time with family and friends, sometimes some of those chores and things can be high time but low yield, might be worth outsourcing to someone else, or just see if they need to be done at all, depending on what it is. And then you can also set income goals tied to hours worked, not just dollars earned. So you could say, for example, I earn XYZ dollars per hour, and I'll cap my work week at XYZ hours. So being able to kind of have that in your mind. So those are some little tips that may help you. By prioritizing time autonomy and minimizing low-yield activities, you can design a life that's not only financially secure, but also richly fulfilling. So I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. I always read all the comments that you leave, so thank you so much for contributing to our community that way. And again, share this video with a friend that you think might enjoy it. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon.